Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. My guest proposes tariff exemptions for small businesses and workforce exemptions for U.S. naval shipyards and an analysis of Medicaid cuts. These are proposals by my guest, U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, who joins me in the studio. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Nice to be with you, Fred.
Let's start with small businesses and tariffs, especially those with Canada. You have a bill, and let's put that graphic up, exempt U.S.-owned small businesses from tariffs imposed on Canadian products. And just as an aside, we have New Hampshire businesses, of course, that work on both sides of the border, so that's important. Senator, is that possible for passage in the Senate?
Well, it's probably not very likely, given that the Republican majority has not been supportive and the president doesn't support it. But it's important to our small businesses. Because
you have been just visiting small businesses around the state.
I have.
And what are you finding about their tariff impact?
They're very worried about the tariffs. And there's sort of a double whammy on a lot of businesses in New Hampshire because of the impact on Canadian business and Canadian whether it's tourism. I was at the Mount Washington Valley Chamber earlier this spring talking about tourism and the impact on Canadian visitors not coming in the way that they have in the past. I've heard the same thing from Hampton. People aren't coming to Hampton Beach. Or small businesses. I was at a bakery and dairy called Chatilla's that does about 80% of their business, or they did, with Canada, and Canada canceled the order after President Trump's trade war. So it's having a huge impact, and the fact that we do so much business in New Hampshire with Canada means that we're really getting hit twice.
We do, right. Let's turn to the shipyard, the Naval Shipyard in Portsmouth. Proposal you've made, and here's the graphic on that. Exempt workforce of U.S. 4 naval shipyards, including Portsmouth, from hiring freezes and mass layoffs, and to ensure the maintenance and overhaul of nuclear submarine fleet. I'm aware there are hiring delays at the shipyard, Senator. Are there workforce reductions underway there?
Well, supposedly the public shipyards are exempt from those workforce delays and hirings. They're supposed to be exempt. I've heard from both the Secretary of the Navy, even from Secretary Hegseth at the Department of Defense, who say that they are concerned about this and they are weighing in. But the Office of Personnel Management has been the real problem. And even though everybody agrees we need to get people in the queue hired, because we have to add about 550 workers every year just to keep up with the work at the shipyard. It's being held up by OPM.
OPM. Another subject, Medicaid and Affordable Care Act cuts. Request to Georgetown Center on health insurance reforms for detailed analysis on those cuts' effect on health insurance plans. And just for information, 1 in 8 Granite Staters enrolled in Medicaid in 2024, and the federal Medicaid expenditures in New Hampshire will be lower by $2.38 billion in 10 years. Senator, what will be done with that analysis? I know, for campaigns in 26 and 28, certainly that would be helpful. But what about some legislation on those cuts?
Well, it will help us figure out the extent to which people will be affected by these cuts. The reconciliation bill, what Trump calls his big, beautiful bill, I call it a big, beautiful betrayal of the American people, particularly on health care, because we're going to see about, according to estimates, about 46,000 people in New Hampshire who will lose their health care, either through Medicaid or because of the impact of the expiration of the premium tax credits, which have helped people in the marketplace pay for their health care. So we need to do something about that. I'm hopeful that Congress will actually extend the premium tax credits. That's what I've been pushing for, and there seems to be some bipartisan support for that. But we need to get an analysis, because we can't afford to go back to where we were in the 90s and the 2000s before we passed the Affordable Care Act.
Healthcare has been a focus of yours since you were governor.
It has.
I remember. Finally, as you know, the FAA has designated the Nashua Community College as a air control training center, air traffic control training center, and other schools have been designated as such. Is this enough to get at that shortage?
Well, it's another step. Obviously, it's going to take us a while to get out of this shortage of controllers because it's taken us years to get into this problem.
Right.
But we need to be thinking about everything we can to address it. And the Nashua Community College has done great work in the aviation arena.
Yes, they have.
This is a designation that would help them, would help the FAA as we're looking at how we get the controllers we need to make sure air traffic is safe.
Absolutely. U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, thank you.
Nice to be
have
here.
you here in the studio. And if you missed this briefing by the Senator, you can go to WMUR.com, where it will be posted all this week.